What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 of Rangers Talk. I'm here with both Nico and Nick this time. Nico finally done going on vacation there. You saw him on the Mets podcast, though, earlier. But today we got a couple things to talk about. It's not going to be that interesting of an episode when it comes to covering the Rangers. Instead, we're going to be doing tier lists, and we're going to talk to Nico what his thoughts were about the offseason moves just because he hasn't been here. And then we also are going to talk about Kakko being extended today. But Nick, are you tired of a girl, right? You want her to get on her knees and say yes, please, all right? Well, thankfully, we got the tools to help your jewels over at Manscaped. You could get 20% off and free shipping using the code Python at manscaped.com. They are saving 6 million men who trust them worldwide. And if my math is correct, that's 12 million balls that they're helping out. So I don't understand why you're not trusting them. All you got to do is go to manscaped.com, use the code Python, 20% off and free shipping. Makes sense to me. Get the lawnmower 4.0, get the ball deodorant, get everything. Get the performance package. It's great. And also check out TickPick if you want to get yourself to a game. But with that being said, Nico, we'll start with you. How are you doing? Because you haven't been here as of lately.
Oh yeah. So happy to be back talking about the Rangers. Of course, as you said, we were on the Mets one earlier, but when was the last Ranger one we did all together? Like 3 weeks ago. So I'm happy to be back. A lot happened, so I'm guessing we're going to talk about it. And yeah,
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Nick, who's muted. I don't know what he's saying, but
Fuck. I was like, why is this motherfucker not answering me? No, I said, I know you'd much rather be on vacation right now.
yeah,
Oh,
you'd
Don't
shit.
rather be on
cap.
vacation than doing a
Yeah,
Rangers podcast. Weird,
yeah.
though. Kind of weird.
Yeah, man, I'm a weird guy. What can I
Yeah,
say?
weirdo. But Nick, how have you been outside of being tired of hearing about balls?
Shut the fuck up, bro. Like,
Kako.
I'm
We'll
fine.
we'll
Otherwise, I'm
start
fine.
there. Kako finally got extended, 2 years, 2.1 million per. Uh, Thoughts on the deal from both of you first, if
You
there
go
is any.
first,
Nick,
Nico.
I got it. So Capo Caco, 2-year deal, 2.1 million. I think it's a good deal. I mean, it's low risk, high reward. Just a little bridge deal because we just haven't seen a full healthy season from Capo Caco. So now, of course, with the losses of the Toronto, Cobb, Strom, he's going to have top six opportunity for minutes, and he'll be playing alongside some good talent. So I expect him to have a really good year this year, and for that contract to look pretty good. And then we can start talking about a bigger extension next year. But I like the move. It's safe, and Chris Sherry did a wonderful job waiting for the AAV to go down by just holding out the situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like if he wasn't scared of an offer sheet, he should have just waited longer to see if he could get it down. But Nick, what are your thoughts on the contract?
Um, Basically what Nico said, low risk, high reward. Agree with that. And yeah, I have no problem with it. I mean, Kako hasn't really proven anything to get that big payday, so low risk, high reward for now. So yeah, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, the only thing that does suck with this is that the dream of Tyler Mott coming back is dead, it looks like, because the Rangers have 21 players on the active roster. They need two more. They only have $1 million in cap space. Trading Ryan Reeves at this point is not going to be enough. Well, technically 22 because they're going to activate Playoff IR and his money is already counting towards the cap. So they got room for one more guy and 1 million to bring back Tyler Mott. Not enough. Not enough. And I don't think trading Reeves is enough, unfortunately, either.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll figure something out, but for now, doesn't look like Mott's coming back.
Yeah.
No, which
To me,
sucks.
it's just odd, like that he hasn't signed with a team. I don't know if Chris Jerry is working on something to bring him back, even though it seems pretty damn near impossible at this point. But I mean, hey, I would love Tyler Mott back, but at this point, it just seems pretty unrealistic. I really wonder where he's going to sign.
unless he's willing to take a league min deal, which would be great if he is, because if it gets later in the offseason, he might have to at some point. But
Yeah.
I still feel like there's going to be a team that signs him, and it's going to suck. Hopefully, someone not in the division though. But so Nico, what were your thoughts on the Trocheck deal?
At first, I was like, when I saw the deal break 7 years, 5.6 million, I was like, damn, I don't know about this. But then I thought about it. Excuse me. I think it's good. Trocheck's a really good player. He's a clear upgrade over Kopp and Strome, and I think he hasn't played with a caliber player like Panarin his whole career. So I mean, I think he's really going to produce. I expect like 65 to 70 points. And I mean, yeah, I like that he went higher, Drury, on the years to bring down the AAV. Because if you were doing like 5 years, he probably would have fetched like 6.5 mil. So I give the signing like a B plus overall. I think it was good, and I'm excited to see what he can do with the Rangers.
I completely agree. And 2 points that I want that you talked about. One, the stretching out the AAV or stretching out the term to lower the AAV. People are, for whatever reason, not realizing that the cap is going to go up and that deal is going to be movable. If, God forbid, you need to move him, hopefully not. And the other point is you talked about how he's never played with a guy like Panarin, because I have people commenting when Trocheck signed on my videos saying, oh, yeah, well, he played with guys like Barkov and Huberdeau. Okay, Jonathan Huberdeau was not an elite player at the time. Alexander Barkov was not an elite player at the time. These guys were 20, 21 years old when Vinny Trocheck was playing there. So, if anything, he was kind of a boost to help them get going a little bit. And yeah, the fact that you take him out of a defensive system that he's playing in Carolina, play with Panarin, and get the 5-on-5 offense going, I think that you're going to see that big point jump, that 75-point season that we saw with him in Florida, maybe even more.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
agree.
Were you going to say something, Nick?
Bro, I can't stop thinking about that Manscaped, be honest with you. Fuck me. No, it's I think he on it. Oh, turn that shit off. No, honestly,
Hey, whoa. Don't shit talk them.
I love you, Manscaped. Sorry.
That's what I
No, I was gonna say, I can honestly see like this may be a little bit of a hot take, but if all goes well with Trocheck and Panarin, could honestly see him get like close to 80 points. Like, you never know. Be honest with you, it could happen.
Yeah.
Just saying.
that I could tell. But yeah, completely agree. And if Kakko also could have a big year and he's on that line, which we assume, then yeah, Trocheck could definitely have a big year. So Nico, next we'll ask your thoughts on the Halak signing.
I like the Halak signing. He's a 1-year deal. I mean, he was half the price of Georgiev, so I love it. I mean, he's a he's an older goaltender with a lot of experience. I think he'll be like just a good guy to play some games for the Rangers to help back up Igor. It's a good signing in my opinion. I liked it. I saw the Charlie Lindgren signing with the Capitals, like 3 years, 1 million. I was like, maybe the Rangers should have hopped on that. But thinking about it, the experience Halak has, I think, will go a long way with the Rangers. So I like the signing definitely there.
Yeah, we know what happened last time the Rangers employed two brothers, so I don't know if they wanted to go down that road again.
Yeah,
but
true that.
yeah, now you finally have a backup too that's not going to sulk when he's not playing, so that is another good thing.
I have an announcement.
You have an announcement.
Special announcement.
Let's hear it.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, was Coach David Quinn's birthday.
No way.
Woo!
How old is he turning?
I think like 55, something like that. I don't know. Let me check.
No way.
Oh, that's another thing. All right, after we finish this, you know what? Before the tier list, we're talking about David Quinn's press conference because it was laughable. But,
Okay,
all right.
bet.
Um,
56. Big 5'6". There we go.
Wow.
sir.
Win.
He doesn't
Yeah.
look 56. I got to give it to him.
We'll talk about David Quinn after. So, Nico, thoughts on Carpenter as well?
Another good signing. I mean, you got him for the league minimum, $750,000. He's, from what I heard, I mean, I haven't watched him a lot, obviously, but from what I heard, kind of like another scrappy fourth line player like Tyler Mott. So, I mean, he'll fit in right on that fourth line with, I don't know if you're going to throw Hunt, Reeves, and Goodrow maybe could play on that fourth line a little bit. So I think it'll match well. I think he's a very good player.
Hopefully not Hunt. For the love of
Yeah.
God, not Hunt. All right, and then the last signing, Mr. Spicy Pork and Broccoli, King Louis.
When this signing broke, I couldn't do anything but laugh. Louis Domingue, I just loved it for the memes. That's the only reason I like
They
the
knew what they were
signing.
doing. They knew.
They did.
All right, I took a
I don't
photo
know
with
if that
him.
was happening.
It's gonna be
Go
so
ahead.
awkward. I took a photo with him after Game 5, that series, and if I see him again, he's gonna probably punch me in the face because I told him he did a good job, but he blew a 2-goal lead. Kind of did a shit job, but I told him to take, trying to get in their heads. You know what I'm saying?
And you were clowning him during the game.
Yeah, I flipped him off quite a few times. He looked right at me. I swear on my life, looked right at me, and then we became best friends after the game. Kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to apologize and
Yeah, for real.
But David Quinn now. Where do we start with that press conference? Nico, did you watch the press conference? Because I know Nick.
I saw clips of it. I did not see the full thing, but I saw some pretty laughable things on Twitter. Of
The
course,
Twitter
blown
video
up.
that they posted was just.
What do
so
they post? What did they
Oh,
post?
He was
the
just like-
Sharks.
He was just like, "Hey guys, it's David Quinn, coach of the."
Oh,
or,
that.
Hey, San Jose
I
Sharks
saw
fans.
that.
David Quinn, head coach of the San Jose Sharks.
He's at a gunpoint in that fucking video.
But
Oh
The
my god.
gun. That's the gun POV.
here's where I want to start. Hey, David Quinn, how about a fuck you again? Because the fact that he had the balls to go up to that podium and still credit himself for the reason that Fox won the Norris, Mika had a 40-goal season.
Panarin was
Buddy,
third
you're
in the
not-
heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Panarin wasn't gonna do that. Buddy, you're not like that. And Mike Greer, insert that meme
Popping
where it
his
says
tires.
he's trying to gas it up. It's the bike and the guy pouring gasoline on the bike because Mike Greer is trying to gas up my boy DQ way too much because
Quincev.
I don't know what it was, but every single thing and the fact that you had the balls, David Quinn, to say, "Oh, I didn't treat the." He's like, "Oh, it's the first time that I've heard anything about treating young players harshly."
Okay.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because if your Twitter account is real, you should know a lot about that. And also, didn't he also in the Olympics? Didn't he, instead of putting out, I forgot which rookie it was, he put out some veteran that was completely garbage, even though the rookie was doing a lot better. I forgot who it was, but it's just another example of how garbage of a coach he is.
Mike Greer, the GM, he was like, I think one of the questions was like something along the lines of like how he didn't play the kids in like the top 6. And then Greer defending him, he's like, well, when you have established guys like Kreider, Zibanejad, who
And Colin Blackwell.
yeah, it's hard to put guys like Kako or referring to the kids, Lafreniere. He didn't say the name specifically, but he referred to the kids. It's hard to put them, in the top 6 when you have some, established veterans there. And he also said that Greer, again, pumping his Quinn's tires. They Team USA went undefeated in the what did he say, the preliminary round. That was like one of his reasons why they hired Quinn. And he said the team wasn't very skilled. He's like, they went undefeated with a not so skilled Team USA team.
Oh my god.
Or yeah, something like that. You can go look back and you'll hear exactly what he said. You'll know what I mean.
Established veterans. Colin Blackwell started the year with the Hartford Wolfpack, and he called this guy an established veteran. Wow.
I don't look. He said something like that.
I
I'm
wish
not saying.
someone just
I'm
threw
not.
Colin Blackwell's name out there. Jesper Foss. Who else was up in that top 6? I'm sure I'm missing some guys.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm blacking out. Like because there's no reason not to put him on the top 6. That's what I'm saying at the
Ryan
time.
Strome instead of Philip Hedl.
Yeah.
Your fourth line at one point was Michael Haley, Elias Anderson, and Greg McKegg. Yep.
Oh my days.
Sure sounds like great veteran depth to me.
He said something like that. Couldn't fit any. Basically, say he couldn't fit in the young kids on the top 6. So he's hoping for something different here in San Jose. You can look back and you'll see what I mean.
Oh,
but yeah,
I remember it, and unfortunately, I remember it, and it's just sad that he used the same. It's just the same bullshit when he was here that he was saying, just the same bullshit. Oh, there's another name. Phil DiGiuseppe got some top 6 minutes instead.
There you go.
Sure, Mike Greer, sure, David Quinn, sure thing.
they're gonna be a team that I'm curious to see how they do.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna closely watch the Sharks this year.
Watching
They
the
are
Sharks
going to be
just
the
because of
definition
him.
of walking mediocrity.
Who are some young players on the Sharks?
Oh yeah,
who
another
actually
clown. All
helped
right.
their career?
And this is not to shit on David Quinn, but who the F says, SAP Arena or SAP Center, whatever the hell it is one of the arenas as an opposing coach you look forward to going to because of the atmosphere and all of that. Like, no one says that the SAP Center or whatever it's called. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah,
no
that's
disrespect.
right.
If you're a Sharks fan
Just
watching this,
gassing
like,
up a bike again.
if you're a Sharks fan watching this, like, no disrespect to you guys, but like, I'm sorry. Like, SAP is not up there with like some of like the top arenas like the Bell Center or the Garden or United Center or you know what I mean, like some arenas with like long history. You know what I mean? And it's
Gassing up the bike.
just no, like that's like who the hell says that? Like SAP is just another arena, bro. Like
How the fuck
I
did
don't
I
get it.
forget? Fourth liner Brendan Smith too in all this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that experiment. Remember that one?
Shark fans, if you're watching, listen. When William Eklund is on the fourth line, give me a call. I'll give you some therapy. I'll try to tell you it's gonna be okay.
You'll get a new coach very soon.
Yeah,
And it'll be okay.
I'll try to guide you through this. I'll try to guide you through how I made it through that 2021 season because it was not easy.
That was the worst season, honestly. And that what's crazy is that 2018-19 was better. Even though the record didn't show it, just like I don't know, I felt like 21 was just a shit show.
You know why that team was better?
Why?
Because John Gilmore was on the roster.
That's facts. Johnson.
That's why.
Johnny
Adam
Gilmore.
McQuaid was on the roster.
Yeah. And Leo Sanderson, right? Or did he? Yeah.
Yes. Matt Bolesky.
Oh, Bolesque. Ryan Spooner, right? Or no,
Yes,
no.
Spoon.
That was
he
who
there?
they traded him,
Spoons
right?
was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they
was there
traded
for
him
the short
eventually.
time.
I just don't understand how.
Well, good luck, Sharks
I think it's
fans.
because Greer worked with the Rangers. That's got to be the only reason this
Oh,
happened.
not only that, but the BU connection. It's all about connections.
Well, yeah, we know
Yeah.
that with Kyle Dubas. He's the king of connections there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's
following
ultimately how Quinn got the job in New York. Like, Gordon and Quinn and Drury and Quinn have known each other, according to David Quinn, for like over 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's just like give you a good buddy, an NHL coaching job to hopefully make a name for himself. So I don't know.
Quinn went up in that press conference acting like he was gone. As a certain player, we won't disclose because we said it would be between us. As a certain player told Nick and I, just look at the record. Just look at the record. And you'll clearly see who's the better coach.
Kevin Rooney said the same thing. Remember that one time after the game?
I
Kevin?
said we were gonna disclose.
Oh fuck! All right, well,
I'll cut that out. But
still.
But yeah, according to our sources, our outside sources, from a player, he just said to us. I mean, you see the record, right? And
Kind of gave it away, but okay.
you just gotta. I said I was gonna cut it out.
All right, who cares, bro? Like, come on. It's all fun and games still.
And he's not on the
Rooney's
team anymore. Give him that. He
Yeah, he's not on the team,
He-
so who cares?
He left in free agency.
Fair,
It's all fun and games till Kevin Rooney said comments, "I'm gonna sue you guys."
fair point. Fair point. But I mean, either way, Kevin Rooney doesn't have to be the one to break the news that that Gallant's the better coach. I think that
Oh, players will tell you
anyone can see that. But enough of David Quinn. We'll hop into the tier list that we did. So this was we'll give credit to Nick. This was his idea. So today we're doing a tier list where we ranked players based on how we think they are. So let's just start it. Let's quit the pitter patter and let's get out of here. So
Terrible.
let's start. This I believe is Nico's. So Nico, walk us through.
Chad. No.
Okay, so the elites here. We got, of course, Igor Shesterkin at the 1, Fox at the 2, Panarin at the 3, and Zibanejad at the 4. In that order, I think these are pretty self-explanatory. I mean, Shesterkin won the Vezina this year. Last year, Fox won the Norris. Panarin was top 3 in Hart voting.
Thanks to David Quinn. Sorry, go.
Yeah, thanks to David Quinn. A couple years ago, and he's just been ridiculous, as we know. And Zibanejad, I think, got off a pretty bad start this year, but then really picked himself up, especially in the playoffs, showing he has one of the best shots in the league, and he's great on the defensive end as well. So those are my elite players. Good, we have Chris Kreider. I mean, that's Nick's boy right there. 52 goals, 3rd in the league. I mean, that's insane. Couldn't put him in the elites here just yet, just because he I'm not dissing him, but I wouldn't say he's elite his game, but he's one of the best net front presence in the league, and he's just automatic in front of the net. So
the best.
Gotta love Chris Kreider.
Keep going.
Then we put Vincent Trocheck as the second one in the good category. Again, I mean, he's another great player, and I think he's really gonna show some of his best years in New York here with Artemi Panarin and more non-defensive structured system team. And then Keandre Miller is our last one in the good. And Keandre Miller just really impressed me the second half of the season and the playoffs for me to put him in this good tier. He just showed he looked like a veteran out there in the playoffs. So I don't know. I think he's going to be a really good defenseman for years to come, and then could be in that elite category in a few years, in my opinion. So that's that. Solid. We have Alexis Lafreniere first, and I think next year he might put a point per game pace. I think he's going to be really good if he plays with Kreider and Zibanejad all year. So I have him in that first solid. And then we got Gaudreau, Lindgren, Hedel. Again, all solid players. Just not good enough to be in the good tier, but they're not mid. Tyler Mott, who I hope resigns, but he won't, sadly, is not solid tier for me. I love Tyler Mott, but sadly won't be back. Kakko in the solid tier we put. Hopefully he can move into the good tier next year. Braden Schneider, I put him solid. He looked really good when he played. And Ryan Carpenter. Then for mid, we got Kravtsov, Jones, Lundqvist, and Halak. I think Kravtsov could definitely be moved up. We just haven't really seen him much. And then same with Lundqvist and Jones. One of them will probably be playing with Schneider next year, we assume. And then Halak in the mid tier at this point in his career. Trash. Jacob Trouba. I know it's good. Round of applause there. This might piss some people off, the Trouba lovers. But, I don't know, man. Taking into account the contract as well. I mean, he just doesn't do it for me, sadly. Ryan Reeves, as much as I love him, he's just not what he used to be in the NHL. He looks slow out there nowadays, and don't know if he has much of a fit on the team anymore. You got Gettinger, Brodzinski as well in the trash. I think I'm disrespecting them a little bit, but it is what it is. Louis Domingue, we got a first-hand experience of that in the first round, but now we're fucking Louis Domingue lovers out here. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I forgot the Ducks guy's name again. Even if you can remind me.
Walensky.
Yeah, we just threw him in the trash here. And then Adam Huska, we saw one game from him, and it was not pretty. So I think it was enough to throw him in trash. And then get the fuck off the team. We got Dryden Hunt, Jared Tenorti, Libor Hayek, and Julian Gauthier, who I still don't know how he's on the team and hasn't been traded yet, but hopefully that comes soon. So
See,
that's my tier list.
I'm not a Gauthier fan by any stretch of the imagination, but why did he hurt you this bad? Why is he your least? Like, why is he at the bottom here?
Oh, you know what? He's not on the last. I made a mistake there. Like,
Okay,
he would be the
about to
first
say,
guy.
What did he do to hurt you?
Yeah, nah.
Slapped him in the
fucked that up at
face
the end.
after the game.
Nah. Nah, he would be wanting to get the fuck off the team. Yeah, I put him last by accident, but I don't hate his guts that much. But yeah,
Outside of that, I think this is a fair list here. I don't
Pretty good,
have
yeah.
any issues. What'd you say, Nick?
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree. I don't know actually if I disagree with any of this. I mean, my list looks a bit different,
Yeah,
but
same.
overall, I think that this is a very fair list when it comes
Mhm.
to that. I was surprised with how little players were in good, though. I thought maybe that I think one player there is snubbed from good, which I'll talk about in my list.
Mhm.
But
Fair enough.
overall, I think that this is a fair list.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Round of applause there.
Round
Big
of
up.
applause. Thank you.
Big
Thank
ups.
you.
Next, we got
This is me.
okay, we got Nick's tier list next. So, Nick, walk us through here.
Yeah, so before I even
Oh,
what?
Damn.
jeez.
Listen, before I even go into it, generally speaking, the top half I'm more critical, but the bottom half I'm probably a little bit more generous. I'll explain. I'll get to it. No,
Seems like the complete opposite.
fuck you, Evan. Fuck you. So number one, elite, Igor. We're not. We don't. I don't even know if we make that. We don't even get past the first round without him. He's our team. All right, he's like Hank 2.0. Or could be better. Panarin, same thing. I don't. It's kind of like he's like an Igor. Up front, makes us into a playoff team, and then Fox is kind of like that as well. He's elite. Good elite, Kreider, because 50 goals. I'm biased, and I think he can be. I'm not saying he gets 50 goals again next year, but I still think, he'll get 30 plus, I think, and he's the best net front presence in the league. And I'm biased, so if you agree or disagree, I'm biased at the same time. But I actually do think Kreider should be there. Mika, I don't see him as an elite center yet, or I just don't actually. Just simple as that. I never have. I mean, actually, except for that 1920 season, I thought he was, but then he just kind of fell off the map after that. So that's why I put him in good elite, and he's definitely better than just good. So I just think he's borderline elite, but he's not there yet. He's not like a Matthews, not like a Crosby. I like those are the centers I consider like elite superstar centers. Like he's just not there. And Trocheck only because I mean you could put him in good, be honest with you, but I only put him in good elite, assuming that his point production is going to go up playing with Panarin, and obviously he's not an elite center. He wins faceoffs though, but good elite I thought was fair enough, assuming again he could have easily been in good, basing off of his last year, but I think with Panarin it's going to be a lot better. Miller, put him in good because there's a lot of good things to his game. Some flaws, but if he cleans them up, then he can easily be in good elite. That's another guy that could be up there as well. But for now, I just put him in good. Lindy, I don't have anything critical to say about him. I just think he's just a good defender. I mean, he could be good elite as well down the road, but for now, it just maybe if he put some more points up, he could be good elite. But I like him better. I mean, Miller and Lindy, I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about Lindy. I think he's all around good player, honestly, as a defenseman. And Laffy, Made some strong improvements this year, and I think eventually he will be an elite player. But for now, he's good. He's heading in the right direction. It's slower than we expected, but he's heading in the right direction, and this is all we can ask for in a young guy like him. Now in our solid list, Braden Schneider. Some of you probably, I don't know, may disagree. Maybe you think he should be in the good category. He could be easily in the good category, but he's barely been on the teams. This was like his first year, so but he looks like a vet already out there. So I think for now, I just think he's just solid for now until he just proves a little bit more, which will be in next year. Filipino, I have nothing. I think he's just all around solid player. I don't think he's just like. If you told me like, oh, if someone asked me how Filipino is, I wouldn't say he's necessarily. I think I just say he's a solid player. I wouldn't say he's mid or good necessarily. Like Key Lindy, I don't think he deserves to be in the category. I just think he's solid. Tyler Bond, another solid bottom six. Yeah, just solid overall. Same thing with Goody. Jonesy, I know he hasn't really played with us, but I'm a big Jones fan, and from what we saw, I thought he was kind of like in Schneider's position. He's just had a lot of confidence playing out there, right away. Yeah, I just thought he was solid, from what we saw from him. And I'll be honest, Yaro Halak, I just heard he had like a 18 save percentage, so I thought that was just good enough. So I just put him through him in the solid.
That is.
Yeah, at even strength. So I was just like, whatever, solid. But he could easily be mid next year. This is just for now. Now we go to the mids. Trouba. Not a big Trouba guy. Defensively, especially, I just not a big fan of him. He provides some offense, but no, it's just not enough from Trouba. Like, I don't know. He could do a lot better, but especially especially if you're getting paid $8 million. Like, come on. Like, no hate on him, man. Like, be honest with you, no hate, but like, I'll be honest, if he was better defensively, I'd actually throw him in the solid category. Like, seriously, if he just cleaned up his defensive game, like, he's not a bad player necessarily. It's just like if he cleaned up his defense a little bit, I would put him in the solid, and he could honestly be good if he actually put up more than 50 points. But hopefully that'll be next year, but we'll see. Kako, thank you, Evan, for that. Kako, I don't know, man. It just seems like he's stuck in a rut right now. Like, he's good defensively, but it's just like, I don't know. Especially when you missed that wide open net against Carolina in game 1, that kind of costed us. I don't know. He's just stuck in a rut. I still believe in him. Young player, a lot of potential. Hopefully he'll get some top 6 minutes here next season, but we'll see. But I believe in him still. Julian Gauthier. You could put him in trash, be honest with you. I know some of you would, but I see some upside to his game. I really like how he kind of reminds me of like Chris Kreider when he drives to the net a little bit, when he puts his shoulder down and, creates a scoring chance like that. I just like his size. I feel like there's potential to his game. So that's why I didn't put him in mid trash. But I think with the right team, he could be a legit player. Krav, another guy. He hasn't really played with us, but I think but from what we saw from last year, I thought it was only fair to just put him in mid because he didn't really do anything spectacular, but he didn't look bad out there at the same time. So I just thought mid. Same with Niels. Didn't play with us a lot. He looked a little inexperienced out there, obviously, because he hasn't really played NHL games. But I didn't think it was fair to put him in mid trash because he has a lot of potential. And yeah, and Brodzinski, I could have put him in mid trash, but I don't know. I just felt like mid was just right for him. I don't know. I just felt like mid was good for him. Now for mid trash, Dryden Hunt. I feel like again, same kind of the same thing with Gautier. I just feel like with the right team, he could contribute a little bit more. He's not fully trash, but like he has some potential. Same with Tenorti, I feel like. Those two again with the right team, I just feel like they have some upside to their game, but they could contribute, but they, with this team, they just don't get as much of an opportunity to. Louis Domingue, I put him in mid trash because there were some games where he actually did like fairly well. Like he made some key saves for the Penguins, keep him in some games. But again, there's also the other side where he gave up a lot of like soft goals. So for that reason, I put him in mid because of those saves, but trash because of those soft goals he gave up. Hayek, again, same thing with Hunt and Tenorti. I just change of scenery. Just needs I feel there's more to his game. I feel like you just have to you just have to play him. But I don't think he's completely trash. I think he could be useful for sure. But he hasn't shown why he would be at least like mid, like if that makes sense. Like trash because like he didn't do well with us, but mid because there's more to his game and I think he has more potential. Gettinger, I didn't really need to put him up here. But AHL guy, I wouldn't say he's complete trash. I mean, but he's useful in some areas, so that's why he's mid. But trash, obviously, because he hasn't really done anything. And then we finally go to trash, our only player there, Ryan Reeves. Completely, besides him, him hitting players hard and controlling some scrums when he's on the ice only. Other than that, he's really useless, to be honest with you. He's slow. And he's getting paid over $1 million. Revo's cool, but if I'm being honest, yeah. On as a side note, I know Sammy Blay isn't here. I would have thrown him in the solid. I forgot to mention that. I know he played with us only for like a month and a half, but like I really liked him as a player. So he could have been in the good category possibly, but for now I just give him solid Sammy Blay. But yeah, those are my rankings, and yeah, probably
really
disagree with it.
list.
But yeah.
The only thing that I don't know if I'd put Reeves as the worst on the team. I know
Mhm.
that he's useless most of the time, but I don't know. The guys in mid trash, I feel like all those guys are worse because at least Reeves did some things this year,
Right.
like some of these other guys.
And again, some of these guys could have been trash, like Hayek or Hunt, but like I just felt like they had more to their game than Reeves. So it's just like think about it, like Reeves is just like can only hit and control some scrums. Other than that, he's not athletic really, he's just slow. At least Hunt is faster, you know what I mean? Like at least he can do a little bit more. I mean, he could have easily been in the trash as well, but it's just like if I had to pick one over the other, it's just like I don't know. I just felt like there was more to his game, so that's why I just put him in mid trash. But like just because it's like mid trash doesn't necessarily mean like you can easily slot into the mid. Like if you're mid trash, you're not good still, but
You're borderline mid or trash. It is what the name is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Overall, I think this is a fair list, though. I like this a lot.
Solid.
Yeah. All right. There goes.
Here we go.
There goes. There goes.
Round of applause.
There goes. Now we'll get to mine where I was a bit more generous with some of the players, but we gave Igor his own tier. He has to be at the top. He's the best
That's
goalie in the
facts.
league for a reason.
Facts.
Had to. Adam Fox, one of the top 3 defensemen in the NHL. And if you're not going to say top 3, definitely top 5. Have to put him in elite. Panarin, elite. There's a reason he got $11.6 million. Mika, he's someone where if you asked me before the playoffs, I probably wouldn't put him in elite. But he won me over in the playoffs alone. So that's why he's in the elite tier.
Until
and
a regular season. until the regular season.
Yeah, and then I clown him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
High
tweet
score
the Mickey,
Mika.
Mika pictures again.
Yeah.
Trocheck, I put him in elite because I really am expecting big things from him. I don't necessarily think he's elite right now, but in terms of his point productions next year, I think they're going to go up. I think playing with Panarin's the perfect match for him, and he's the type of guy that he's been missing his entire career, getting out of that defensive structured system, like Nico said. I think that Trocheck is going to be that guy, and he wins faceoffs, which that's already something that this team needs. Kreider and his big ass neck, put him in good. If he could get 40 next season, I'll put him in elite. But I just don't know if he's going to replicate what he did last year. I don't even know if he reaches 40 or not. But if he does, I'll easily put him in the elite tier. But overall, Kreider, very solid. Him and Ryan Lindgren, who I have next, those were the two that I was kind of like, do I want to put him in elite? But I feel like good is a fair tier for them. Lindgren, of course, Fox's defensive partner. He just picks up what Fox doesn't do defensively at times, and overall, very solid player. Love Ryan Lindgren. Braden Schneider, put him in good. I love what I saw from him. I know it might be a bit early to put him above Keandre Miller, but from what we saw, I thought that he was more consistent. Keandre Miller looked better down the stretch, but in terms of overall consistency throughout their entire time here, I thought Braden Schneider showed more of it. We'll see. Hopefully, he doesn't have kind of the struggles that Miller did going into the start of next season, where Miller did in the start of his second season. Overall, though, I think that Schneider is going to be at some point one of the top defensemen, and it's kind of a good problem to have that he's our third right pair defenseman. Well, not by choice, but I think that he's overall good. Just change your jersey number, please. Keandre Miller, another guy who needs to change his jersey number, but Keandre Miller, very solid. He definitely won me over. If you asked me back in January or you asked me back in December, I'm easily putting him in trash or mid. He was making pee-wee hockey mistakes. He looked absolutely abysmal. Now he's looked really solid, and he's been carrying Jacob Trouba's ass for the longest time. So got to put him in good. And he looked like I don't know if I want to say the best, but he was definitely the second best defenseman on the team throughout the playoffs. Alexi Lafreniere, this might be a bit of a personal bias thing because he's my favorite player, but I'm putting him in good still either way because he showed the potential in the playoffs. He showed it down the stretch, and you saw that goal against the Detroit Red Wings. That just doesn't happen from unskilled guys. He is legit. He's picked number one overall for a reason. I think he's going to be a point per game guy next year, putting him in good for that reason. And then the next two, I know that they might be more solid players, but to me, they just bring what a lot of guys don't. They bring the intangibles there. They block shots, kill penalties, and you just don't find guys like that on trees. There's a reason that Tampa Bay grabbed the guy like Barclay Goodrow specifically because of his value. And Tyler Mott, there's a reason he was so good. And there's a reason why that series kind of took a shift against Pittsburgh. You look at Pittsburgh's power play towards the beginning of that series versus when Tyler Mott was back in the lineup. It was a very huge difference there. So I put them in good. I know there's an argument that they could be a tier lower. Kakko and Chytil, they're kind of in the same boat there where I put them in solid because we haven't seen enough. And I know that people are going to be like, well, you put Lafreniere in good because of the playoffs. Why don't you put those two, considering Chytil arguably had the best playoffs out of all those three on that kid line? The reason is because with Chytil in particular, we've seen him go on hot streaks before, and then he does absolutely nothing. So until he does it consistently next year, he's going to be in solid. Same goes for Kakko. And with Kakko, it's just hard to rank a guy who's been hurt most of his career. He's played with garbage line mates most of his career, thanks David Quinn. And even Gallant this year, I didn't like when the fact that Kakko had 7 points in 9 games with Panarin and Strome, and then Gallant's like, yeah, we'll put you on the first line because it's a promotion. But in reality, it ended up hurting him, and he did get hurt, and it's just hard to judge him. Overall, though, his defensive game is pretty valuable, so I'll put him solid. Halak, same goes for him. Finally, a reliable backup, so got to put him there. Trouba, I know I'm the biggest Trouba hater, but
I'm shocked by this, Evan.
I'm putting him in solid only because of the fact that he's at least a competent NHL player, because you've seen guys like Brendan Smith, you've seen guys like Jack Johnson be in the lineup, and they're just not it. Jacob Trouba, at least he's solid. I probably could have ranked him lower, but I was being generous today. But overall, yeah, I think that it's really the $8 million that's his Achilles heel, and I took that out of consideration and I put it in the perspective where what if he was making 2 million instead? And to that, that's a solid NHL defenseman right there. Not a top four guy, but solid. Zach Jones and Niels Lundqvist both in the same boat. I put them in solid because when it comes to Niels Lundqvist, when you were a rookie defenseman fed to the Wolves carrying Patrick Nemeth, you get some respect from me. Patrick Nemeth could not skate, and Niels Lundqvist did pretty solid. I still don't remember that brutal play that he made. I think it was on the second goal on opening night. But outside of that, I thought Niels Lundqvist was pretty solid when he was up here, and he just didn't get a fair enough chance. I think that next year, if he does, we'll see a better him. Zach Jones, kind of the same deal. I like him a lot. He's a puck moving type defenseman, and he's an Adam Fox light. I really like Jones. I want him to make the full time roster because I would definitely rock a Zach Jones jersey. He's definitely a solid player overall. Carpenter, same kind of thing. I think that he's someone that could end up in that Barker Goudreau, Tyler Mott tier for me, just because he does bring that type of play, and I feel like that he's going to fit the Gallant system well. We've seen him in the Gallant system in Vegas, and his career high in points didn't just happen for a reason. So clearly, it's something about the Gallant system that is good for him. I think he ends up being the everyday fourth line, either center or right winger there. Kravtsov, put him in mid because we haven't seen enough of him. And overall, when he was here in 2021, he was okay. Didn't really look that flashy of a player, but hopefully I get to put him higher next year. Ryan Reeves, put him in mid. Not much else. There's not much to say really with them. I could have ranked him a bit lower. Could have been a bit harsh, but overall, I think that Ryan Reeves, he had a couple solid games, and it was enough to put him there. And I don't want him in the everyday lineup, but as your 13th forward, he's pretty solid. Same goes for Johnny Brzezinski. I think that he's probably the better 13th forward on the team over Dryden Hunt, who we'll talk about in a bit. But I think that Johnny Brzezinski, just his skating alone is just what puts him there for me. If he was able to shoot a bit better, that would definitely elevate his game just a bit. Obviously, he's never going to be a guy that's a top six winger, but I feel like he'd still have he could have something where he could be a solid scoring depth guy. Louis Domingue, he's only in mid just because of what he did in that series for Pittsburgh. There's a reason that he was getting praised by Pittsburgh fans, and there was almost a statue built for this guy. If he was able to close that 3-1 series lead, we're talking about a whole different scenario with the Rangers. We're probably talking about more trades right now. We're probably talking about a lot of different things, and a lot of that is Louis Domingue. Yeah, that game 6 goal that he left to Kreider was just absolutely laughable. But overall, he's your third string goalie. It is what it is. Hunt, I could have put him in trash, but you know what? Solid, serviceable 13th forward. But there's a reason the Arizona Coyotes did not want him. So, yeah, I probably could have ranked them lower, but I was feeling generous, as you can see here. Trash, Gauthier, an erectile dysfunction person could finish better than this guy. He's got all the skating, he's got the size, he's got the tools and everything. It's just for whatever reason, this guy cannot finish a damn scoring chance if his life depended on it. Draws penalties, which is cool, I guess, but what doesn't matter when you can't score a goal if your life depended on it, even though the NHL randomly posted one of his goals in the middle of July for whatever reason. But there's that.
Deep that.
Tim Gettinger, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. Adam Huska, he's just the guy. He was fed to the Wolves there against Colorado. I'm not going to be too harsh on him, but you were dog shit at the same time in that game, Huska. You were. And then get the fuck off the team. Hayek and Tenorti, I'm so sick and tired of these guys being the seventh defenseman. When Tenorti was absolute disaster, he was doing fucking ballerina spins. When the Buffalo Sabres were making him do ballerina moves. Need I say more? The Buffalo Sabres, Libor Hayek, he's just incompetent. He's incompetent. And I just remember that game against Montreal. Zach Jones had to carry his ass. Zach Jones. No. Libor Hayek is garbage. Get him off the team. And yeah, that's my rankings. I know it was a bit generous with certain guys, and I know that people are going to disagree because of that. But overall, I think that this is fair, personally.
Oh yeah, looks good.
I
Round
need,
of applause.
Is there any criticism though with my list here? Because I know I was generous.
I think I wouldn't put
I wish I didn't put
Trocheck
Trouba
in
that
a.
high.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I thought he
Yeah,
was definitely
same.
going to draft.
Especially how much you shit on him too.
I wish I didn't put him that high. I shouldn't have.
You really should have. At
And
most
Trocheck, I was a
mid.
little shocked by at elite as well. I would put him in the good tier above Kreider or right to the right of Kreider.
That's fair.
But yeah, by the end of the year, definitely could see elite.
I'm banking with Trocheck on next season. That's all it is with him. And if he has a season I expect, then yeah. Otherwise, yeah, he'd be below Kreider and probably Lindgren for me.
Yeah.
But
I didn't rank some of these guys like Carpenter and Huska because I didn't think they deserved a ranking or I didn't have one for them. But
That's fair.
overall, I wouldn't put again. I'll stand by my list. I wouldn't put Mika at elite just because, but
I put him at elite because I get your point about
I could see it too. I could see
like
why you put
Matthews
it.
being elite and McDavid, all those guys. But to me, I kind of do superstar then elite. That's kind of how I view it personally. So
Fair
that's how
enough.
Mika ended up there
Okay.
for me.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that yeah, I'd probably lower Trouba if I was to redo this. That's for sure. But outside of that, I think that I wouldn't change anything else. Maybe Trocheck, like you said. But yeah, that's it for that. Eventually, we're gonna do a tier list on next time. Probably we'll end up doing the tier list on ranking Ranger teams over the past. We don't know how many years yet. We'll
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. It's probably gonna be no. We'll even include the rebuilding seasons because we got to have some to put in the bottom tier. So
For sure.
but yeah, I honestly think that's really it. Unless anyone has anything else to talk about here.
I don't know. Nico, would you have anything?
I think we covered what we said we were going to on the episode. The David Quinn, tier list, Kakao, a little bit catching up for me on the off season. So I think that's about it.
Yeah,
and this is pretty much what the off season is going to be when it comes to content from us. We're just going to do stuff like tier list and things like that, just because we're not going to have much really to talk about, obviously, with no season. Until the World Juniors rolls around, we'll have a little bit to talk about there. But even then, it's going to be hard to do some content here for the next about 2 months because preseason's not till the end of September. So this is pretty much what you're going to get from us. If you hate it, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. If you like it, then we appreciate you. We appreciate you if you do like it. You're real. You're real if you do appreciate this content. But but yeah, that's going to be it. Remember, Manscaped. Remember to check out TickPick as well. And also be sure, if you are watching on YouTube, to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google, leave us a rating, review, all that. Follow us as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Rangers.
Peace.